Director and Head for Special Initiatives for Time Strategic Solutions Limited, Mr. Rishi Kapoor, for the welcome address. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have with us Mr. Rishi Kapoor for the welcome address.
Sure.
Good evening and a very warm welcome to Shri Subhash Desai, Honorable Minister for Industries and Mining, Government of Maharashtra. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Times of India Group, a very warm welcome to all of you at this fantastic evening. It is indeed my pleasure to be addressing the brightest minds of the marketing fraternity tonight as we all gather to celebrate, acknowledge, and deliberate the genetics of successful Indian brands at the launch of the Economic Times Iconic Brands of India coffee table book. In today's complex and busy world, brand names are everywhere, plastered all over websites, on railway and metro cars, and even on the sides of buses. And sometimes you even find in public places. But most of the time, even though they are accepted as part of the scenery, these brand names don't signify much to those who observe them. Yet, among the mindless white noise of modern marketing, a few brands stand out from the crowd. Admired and packed with meaning, these truly iconic brands inspire passion and fierce loyalty among their customers. They actually represent the gold standard of branding. Having said that, for one of the fastest growing economies in the world, India somehow manages to show negligible presence in the list of top global brands. As Indian brands indulge in greater international expansion, achieving a global status now seems more feasible than it was probably a decade ago. Brands which have been featured in the coffee table book have gone on to show that Make in India is not just a catchy phrase, but a well-thought-out agenda for bringing revolutionary change in the Indian economy through absolutely world-class products, which are not only at par with what is produced globally, but also on the verge of giving them tough competition in their home territories. One of very interesting attribute that you will notice about any iconic Indian brand is that instead of taking a Western idea and selling in India, they have embraced an Indian product and leveraged its ethnicity to build it into an iconic brand. I am really looking forward to the keynotes and discussions tonight to get a preview into what the doings in the industry have in store for us. And we continue this journey of creating more legendary Indian brands. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you and congratulations on your brand journey so far. I wish you all a very best and a very pleasant evening today. Thank you.
Absolutely well said, Rishi. These brands stand for passion and truly are made in India. Well, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored and privileged to have with us the chief guest for the evening, who we would like to invite on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Subhash Desai, Minister of Industries and Mining, Government of Maharashtra. So request you to come on stage and say a few words, please.
Good evening. I am indeed happy to be here with you at this fine evening when we are witnessing iconic brands of India. I am also thankful to Economic Times Age for placing Make in India logo prominently here. Make in India itself has become a brand now and getting recognition across the globe. Many people, when a few years back, considered China to be a workplace, now considering more seriously India for setting up their manufacturing units. And we in the government are getting all our hands, arms ready for this. We have brought in many reforms, and still we wish to make it easier. Ease of doing business is our theme, is our passion. In Maharashtra, many reforms have been achieved. As a result, recently, DIPP, Department of Industrial Promotions and Policies, have announced the results of foreign direct investment, and it clearly shows of the total foreign direct investment that happened in India, Maharashtra alone received more than 50% FDI in the state. That shows that the investors across the globe or from the country itself, they find Maharashtra as their preferred destination for investment. And this will continue. As we speak of brands, I am proud to have, in one sector, that is automobile, Maharashtra has become automobile hub of the country. You think of any brand internationally known in the automobile sector, and you will find it in Maharashtra. We have Mercedes, we have Skoda, we have Volkswagen, we have General Motors, and so on. All the well-known brands in cars are here in Maharashtra. On the same lines, we want to expand in other sectors: engineering, IT, textiles, chemicals, and so on. So we, in the Department of Industries, Maharashtra government, are ready to offer all the facilities. Fortunately, we have complete ecosystem which can offer best of the facilities for industries coming to the state. We have good infrastructure, and most importantly, skilled manpower. Maharashtra is blessed with the creative minds and people with multiple talents. Any industry working with complicated technology, most modern technology, can get desired skilled people in this state. More than 100,000 students pass out every year from more than 1,000 engineering colleges. So this is a pool of skilled, educated young forces. With all these services and specialties, Maharashtra is ready to welcome many more brands to this land of opportunities. With these words, I once again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my views with you. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra.
Thank you so much, Sri Desai. So I request you to kindly come back on stage, please. Please join us on stage. I would also request Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly join our Honorable Minister. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the cover launch of the exclusive coffee table book, The Economic Times Iconic Brands of India. It's a huge moment, ladies and gentlemen. Could we have a huge round of applause? As our Honorable Minister, as well as Mr. Rishi Kapoor, will finally unveil that coffee table book. This has the list, ladies and gentlemen, and it's an amazing moment right now. We are taking an opportunity to acknowledge, celebrate, and eulogize the iconic Indian brands which have beaten the odds and have succeeded in being at par with the global competitive brands. After all, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that products are made in factories, but brands are created in minds. So, are we ready to see the true movers and shakers, to see that list, who all made it to the list? How many of us are ready here? Okay, Okay, we can see just show of hands. Could we have a hoot? Could we have some noise there? A huge round of applause? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we'll begin with the felicitation of the iconic brands listed in the Economic Times Iconic Brands of India coffee table book. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you all know, there are also a few brands that have made it to the list, but their team members are not over here today. But I would like to take this opportunity to call out those brands' names. Please, let's have a huge round of applause for these brands: SBI, LIC, Fog, Tata Motors, and Thumbs Up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, these brands have made it to the list, but their team members are not over here due to their prior commitments. So let's now have a look as to who else made it to this list in an alphabetical order. Ladies and gentlemen, may I first call upon Amul, the team from Amul. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause. We want that energy to be flowing to see these iconic brands made it to this amazing list. Our next iconic brand in this list, Acme Group. Felicitating our next iconic brand, ladies and gentlemen, AquaGuard. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for AquaGuard. Let's now move forward to the next iconic brand that has made it to the list, Being Human Clothing. All right. We'll move forward, ladies and gentlemen, with our next iconic brand that has made it to the list, Cremica. I'm sorry, my apologies. This would be Bright Outdoor. My apologies. Bright Outdoor, ladies and gentlemen. Could we have a huge round of applause? We have used these products, we are associated with them, and it's truly amazing to see these brands win the Economic Times Iconic Brands of India. All right, we'll move forward. Next up, Cremica. All right, I think we'll move forward then. Let's have Dabur. Do we have the team here from Dabur on stage, please? The next iconic brand that has made it to the list, ladies and gentlemen, Genetics Biotech Asia. Calling up the next brand, ladies and gentlemen, Goa Kings Premium. How many of you not been to Goa? Come on, give it up for Goa Kings Premium. Ladies and gentlemen, we have used these brands from the time we were young kids. So let's have that huge round of applause flowing in, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we have Hindware. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hindware makes it to the iconic brands of India, the list by Economic Times. Felicitating the true movers and shakers in their respective sectors, our next brand in this list, Kama Sutra. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, the next brand, Lawson and Tubro. The next iconic brand that has made it to this list, ladies and gentlemen, Mahadhan. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand that we're calling on stage, that will be Mahadhan, that has made it to this list. Felicitating the next iconic brand, Mahindra Scorpio. Sir, I would request you to stay back, sir. I would request you to stay back because the next brand is for Mahindra XUV 500. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Collecting 2 trophies there. This is for Mahindra XUV 500. Thank you. Let's take a look at the next iconic brand that's made it to this list. Ladies and gentlemen, Milton. May I request the team from Hamilton Houseware to kindly come on stage to take the trophy on behalf of Milton. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand, synonymous to all of us, we all know about this, Mongenie's. Could we have a huge round of applause? I'm sure all of you would have had that lovely pastry from Mongenie's. I did when I was a kid. I started off at Mongenie's. Let's have a look at the next iconic brand that truly is made in India, Natural Ice Cream. Moving further, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so the next iconic brand on the list, Paras Vioris Foods. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Paras Vioris Foods. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, moving further, the next iconic brand. And all of us know this brand and have eaten the biscuits from this brand from the time we were young. Parle G. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Parle G? Moving forward with our next iconic brand, ladies and gentlemen, Safe Express. All right. We'll move forward, ladies and gentlemen. The next iconic brand on this list is Sahajanand Medical Technologies. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We have the team from Sahajanand Medical Technologies. Moving forward, the next iconic brand, ladies and gentlemen, is Senko Gold and Diamonds. Moving on from gold and diamonds, we now have the next iconic brand, Spiker Lifestyles. I can see all of you on your phones probably tweeting about the event, but I think that should be done after clapping. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have the iconic brands here. Thank you. And now you can definitely tweet about this, but we should have a huge round of applause for all the brands that have made it to this list. And right now, the iconic brand that we are felicitating is Spiker Lifestyles. Moving forward, we have Tata Housing Development. Ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand that's made it to this list. We have the team coming from Tata Housing Development. All right, then moving forward, the next iconic brand is TCI Express. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 4 more brands to go. The next iconic brand that's made it to this list, Trio. May I have the team from Hamilton Houseware to come and receive this trophy on behalf of Trio. Moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand to be felicitated is UTI Mutual Fund. So right, ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand to be felicitated, for which your energy levels should go up because the brand is XXX Energy Drink. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And ladies and gentlemen, finally, we have the iconic brand Sonalika International Tractors, ladies and gentlemen, that's made it to this list. Congratulations. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those were the iconic brands. Could we have one round of applause for those brands that have made it to this amazing list, the Economic Times Iconic Brands of India? Thank you so much for doing the honors. I would request Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly felicitate our chief guest for the evening. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our honorable chief guest for the evening, Shri Subhash Desai. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this evening. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after that amazing felicitation, we now move forward to hear from eminent brand custodians on the iconic Indian brands and how they have reached the pinnacle and what are they doing continuously to keep the legacy strong. So our first speaker for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Mahesh Murthy, founder and CEO for Pinstorm and Seed Fund.
Hi, I'm the guy that's first in line to keep you between you and your cocktails and dinner. So I shall try to keep it short and perhaps slightly entertaining. I'm privileged to be here in Honored Company. A lot of my colleagues from the advertising business that I started out with 35 years ago are here. What I want to talk about is interesting. What has been awarded today are the iconic brands of today. And I want to perhaps open this with a few thoughts for the next few minutes on what will probably create the iconic brands of tomorrow in India. And I believe it will be a very, very different set of rules, a different set of practices that will do that. In terms of introduction, my name is Mahesh. I invest in startups and help build brands. So if you've taken a bus ride with Red Bus, or if you've studied at Career Launcher, or if you've had a beer at Dulali, or if you've bought something from Chumbak, or if you've bought or sold a car on Carvale, or gone to My Dentist, these are some of my brands, companies that I've invested in, where I kind of sort of act as marketing advisor to my own companies. That about some of the other brands I've worked with in the past have been everything from Pepsi and Airtel to Microsoft and ICICI and others, right? So I want to talk about 3 or 4 things, and I'll probably then let my far more wise compatriots here take over. three or four things have really changed in this business. I started out 35 years ago, and I think this is much nicer. All right. Three or four things have changed. When we started out, we all were told that Kotler is God, and you've got to follow the 4 Ps of marketing, and that there's competition is going to rise, and there's going to be many brands in a niche, and hence lots of market share is going to be split up between lots of companies. But one interesting thing that's happened is that the opposite has happened. If we start out in the gasoline-powered car world, where there are dozens of brands, and each of them has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% market share, and the leader is, I think, somebody with 20% market share, Toyota. And you come to the digital world where brands are built for digital, and you take the luxury electric car niche, one brand, Tesla, has over 90% market share. And number 2 brand, BMW i, has 3 or 4% market share. If you come from the unorganized world of coffee shops to the organized world, Starbucks has 70% market share. If you come to the world of carbonated soft drinks, where there's Coke and Pepsi and so many other carbonated, Sprite and 7-Up and so on and so forth, where everybody is fighting for single-digit market share, and even 1% market share gain is a huge thing. And you come to the modern digital-driven world, and you come to the modern sector there, which is energy drinks. One brand, Red Bull, has 49% market share. Coke's, Monster, and Pepsi's energy drink together have 10% market share. And this is even more extreme in the digital world. Competition is supposed to be rising, but you look at search, Google has 92% market share globally. I bet you can't name 3 search engines in the world. You can name 10 pharmaceutical brands and 5 condom brands. You look at video, one platform, YouTube, has 90% market share. I bet you can't name the number 2 or number 3 platform. You look at mobile chat, WhatsApp has 70% market share. There's probably only 3 businesses out there. And you look at microblogging, one brand has 100% market share. It's called Twitter. There is no number 2 to Twitter. And you can carry on. I mean, in operating systems on the phone, one brand, Android, has 95% market share. Essentially, we're coming from a world where you used to have 10 brands in the space. I remember learning from Rise and Trout that you remember 7 brands, but now you remember 2 or 3 brands in a niche, right? And typically, the first guy will get 85% market share, the second guy will get 8.5% market share, and the third guy will get 0.85% market share. It's kind of one of those mathematical things, or thereabouts, right? And as an investor, I'm interested in the guy who's getting the biggest market share. So the new brands going forward, the opportunity is that you can take the biggest market share out there. The second interesting thing, being an investor, I want to be on the side of the guy who has the dominant brands. And in the brands that you see out there, what's really interesting is every single one of these brands we talked about, whether it's a Red Bull, whether it's a Starbucks, whether it's a Tesla, whether it's a Gmail or an Android or a Google or a WhatsApp or a Facebook or a Twitter, any of the digital brands, which are each worth tens of billions of dollars, the really interesting thing is they have never advertised in their lives. Right? So the interesting thing is advertising doesn't create market leaders anymore. And that's a good news and bad news, because it makes it less expensive for a brand to win. You don't necessarily need a 500 crore advertising budget for you to win. In fact, more often than not, the guy with a bigger ad budget loses, and the guy with a smaller ad budget wins. And I can certainly tell you in my own brands, with Redbus, we spent 0. We got 88% market share before selling out. Carvalli, we spent 0. We got 90% market share. Dulari, if you guys have got, it's the largest microbrewery brand in India. We spend 0. Chumbak, we don't spend. So essentially, these are things that I live by with my own brands, right? So how exactly do these brands win? So if the first one was dominate, the second key was don't spend. The third key is differentiate through delight. Every one of these brands has grown by the oldest trick in the book, and that's word of mouth. You've never seen these brands advertised, but somebody told you, "Arey yaar, WhatsApp pe aaja." Somebody said, "What? You haven't checked out Tesla?" Somebody said, "What? You must do a Google search." Somebody said, "YouTube pe dekh le." Somebody said, "Go on Tinder." Somebody said, "Go on Twitter." So the trick that modern brands today take is to actually win word of mouth. In many ways, it's going back to the world of 200-300 years ago, 400 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution. The interesting thing is we have today out here the biggest medium in the world. Once upon a time, in the world that I grew up in, it used to be television. And before that was print. But today, if I look at, and Vikram is here to give you numbers, but at least according to the census, we have 127 million TV sets. And if you take 2.5 adults per household, that's probably about 280 million viewers on TV. we have 430 million adults already on the internet. So the internet reach is probably about 40–50% more than that of television in India. It is the largest mass medium out there in India today. And you can see that in the elections that just happened, the BJP made great use of the internet, where you can actually create little WhatsApp memes, and just like whatever AAP did to win Delhi by spending 0 and getting 67 seats out of 70, the BJP has done this time to pretty much win on all the places that it was not supposed to win. By basically using digital, but using it at very low cost and not really spending a huge amount of money. So it really comes down to understanding how to offer delight, usually digitally, more Ds and all that we're talking about, and to be able to do that in a way where people spread you and spread the messaging about you by word of mouth and by word of WhatsApp, if you will, from desktop to desktop, from mobile to mobile, that I see many people are on. The last point I wanted to make, and before I get out of your face and spoil your food, is how companies have stopped and changed their thinking about what is in the brand portfolio. Once upon a time, a Unilever used to believe, I have a category. My category is called face care, or my category is called mouth care. My category is called something, right? So I'm doing face care. I'll do soap. And I'll do hair care. It'll be a big move, and I'll do shampoo. But the thing is today, lots of the biggest brands in the world, you look at the Interbrand list of the 100 biggest brands in the world, Unilever is not there and Procter & Gamble is not there. Number 1 is Google, number 2 is Apple, number 3 is Microsoft out there. And if you look at how these brands have done their own product strategies, it's really interesting. So, and Apple started out making desktop computers. It won the business till IBM came in and said, okay, I'm leaving this and going and making laptops. It won that business till Dell and the laptop clones came in and said, okay, I'm going to go and do something entirely different. I'm going to now make music players. There's no connection between music players and laptops. It created that category with iPods and nanos and whatnot, till the Chinese came in and said, I'm going somewhere else and I'm making mobile phones. There's no connection between mobile phones and music players and laptops and desktop. It won that till the Koreans came in and said, I'm going to make watches. There's no connection between watches and mobile phones. And now it's making cars. Look at Google. It's doing pretty much the same thing. It started out with one search without spending anything. It could have done more in search. Instead, it went far away and did email. It won email without doing anything. And instead of doing more in email, they went and did maps. There's no connection. They won everything there without spending anything. Like 100%, 99% market share. And from there, they said, okay, we'll do social networking. They tried with Google+, lost to Facebook, said, acha, theek hai, chodo. And they went and did mobile operating systems, no connection to search or maps, won that. Now they're doing self-driving cars. They're going to the moon. And no connection between anything else. So if earlier you said, I will do soap, and then shampoo. Today's brands are saying, I can go far away, right? If I'm here, and I won, and I've got my dominance and 80% market share here, I'll take my seeds, throw it far away, and create dominance there, and create dominance there, and create dominance there. So I'm not going to go to some place close where I get 5% market share, but I have to go somewhere far away where I can win. And increasingly, this kind of creative thinking is really what is changing the entire marketing business. Once upon a time, you were defined by, I'm in the face care business. Today, you have the ability. So what Richard Branson did with white clothes, with Virgin, we have our own version with somebody in orange clothes with Baba Ramdev and Patanjali, right? Where a lever believes it needs one brand for each category, he uses one brand in every category. And he's come in 6 years to 10,000 crores in revenue, which is bigger than Colgate and bigger than Procter & Gamble, maybe 1/3 or 1/2 the size of Unilever, without really spending too much again on advertising. So there is a new world happening out there. The rules that I grew up with in the 70s, not in the 70s, the 80s and 90s, or even the 100s, do not so much exist anymore. It's an extraordinary opportunity for startups. You can see the big ones out here who've really made their way, and I was reading the other day that the chairman of HDFC was talking about Paytm, saying, who the hell are they? But look at it. HDFC has 15–20 million accounts. Paytm has 185 million accounts, right? And gathered in 1/5 or 1/6 the time with 1/50th the money. There is something happening out there. Now, this can be a threat to existing businesses. This can be an opportunity if you understand how the new rules work. There will be iconic brands created. 5 years from now, this list will be very different. And the tools that you have used and the schemes that you have used and the strategies that you've used to arrive on this list will be very different. With that, I want to leave you and say all the best. Let's hope that you continue to be the iconic brands in the future. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murthy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite the Managing Director for Amul, Mr. R.S. Sodhi, on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. R.S. Sodhi.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I think after hearing Mr. Mahesh Murthy, I have also learned few things. Thank you very much, sir. Well, when I got this invitation from Mr. Apuba for this coming to Iconic Brand Summit, I was happy and surprised. Happy that at least I'll get the company of the big who have really created a lot of iconic brands, and they'll be learning. And surprised that people want to learn from a Dudwala also. So anyway, Amul, you know, is brand I think known to everybody sitting here. What I like to share with you that to make an iconic brand, you can make it without lot of advertising. First thing is that you don't need lot of money. And you can also make an iconic brand without celebrities also. And iconic brands can be made by small businesses also, very, very small people. If I later on tell you, it's not that you need lot of people, big funding, big corporates. You can make big brands by small people. I'm just showing what these brands convey. You know these brands. What these brands convey. Loyalty, faith, or blind faith. I think these are brands where you can say that the TG has got blind faith in this. So that is what I say, or our founder chairman, Dr. Kurian, has told us. If you want to create a brand, your TG or your consumer should have blind faith in your brand, like they have got in these brands or religion. And that blind faith it will not come out just by spending a lot or hiring celebrities or giving lot of discounts or painting the whole city red. That comes only when consumers get smile on his face, on her face, day after day, year after year, and he always feels that whatever money he has spent, he has got delivered value more than what he is expected. And let me tell you, in Amul, the main reason for success of this brand or making it an iconic is two things. One is consistency. I'll show you examples. Consistency, whatever you do, one has to be consistent. And second is making stakeholders happy. And in case of any agriculture produce like milk, there are mainly two main stakeholders. One side, our 3.6 million milk producer farmers, and other side, millions and millions of consumers. Once you make these two stakeholders happy and satisfied, I mean, nobody can compete you in the market, or your brand will be iconic. And brands are not, we know, it's like a relationship. It's not built overnight that you spend 100 crore rupees over 1 month or 2 months in all media and then your brand is built. I don't think that brands can be built. And one has to be committed to whatever for which brand has been built. And most important is the last. Never take undue advantage. I mean, I don't want to give names of the brands, you must have all have felt it. In case of us like butter, there has been some areas of periods when there have been shortages of product, and Dr. Kurian, our founder, has told never increase the price of a product when it is in short supply. Now you take today's world, what happens? I mean, you may be loyal to a particular airlines, but what happens When there's a short supply, price multiplied by 7 times, 8 times, 9 times. You'll get, these brands will get ever blind faith from the consumers. Because you feel cheated. You feel when you really needed it, that fellow is multiplied by providing same services. Well, this is the business which we are in modern way, cow to consumer. I mean, milk business. When we say our brand sitting here for people is basically you are consumers. But Amul has got two faces. One is 3.6 million farmers from whom we buy twice in a day milk, their main source of livelihood, a very dependable source of livelihood. For them, this brand is much, much important than anybody sitting here. We may not get butter or eat Amul butter or XYZ, it does not matter. Or a glass of milk. We buy X brand, Y brand. But for a farmer who is milking at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, cow or buffalo, and then going to the village cooperative society and getting the best price for their produce day after day, this is the brand on which he or she has got the faith and blind faith. So I'll just tell you, firstly, just very short way, what is the context so you can understand the dairy industry, then you will be able to appreciate. India is world's largest producer of milk, around 160 million metric ton. We are not only the largest producer, but fortunately we are also world's largest market also for milk and milk products. So it is good for us. And also growth-wise also the highest in the world. So for milk producer of India, this is very, very golden area to be in this business. We do not have surplus. This is just the figure. All over world, 800 million metric ton milk is produced. India is producing now 156 or 60. But organized sector is only 28 million, which is only 18.5% or 20% nearby. And Amul, we may be number one. We handle only 7% of world India's milk production, or 24% of organized. You can understand what is the opportunity, how much still one can grow. We are growing at the rate of last 10, 12, 20% CAGR because the sky is the limit. But it was not the case. Till 40s, India was having the shortage of milk. We were dependent on imports. There was, I don't know how many of people are here of my age from Delhi. You see, in Delhi, in 60s or 70s, if you go to any house, you know what used to be the most precious thing? It used to be an aluminium card of Delhi Milk Scheme to get 2 bottles of milk from the DMS booth, or Delhi Milk Scheme booth. And even if you have got the card, you are not very sure. You have to stand in a queue for 2 hours to get that milk. Those are the days. And today, sitting at home, you get milk, not only one month, there are 20 brands of milk available. And all happened because of Amul model, successful model which started in 1946 and replication. So this Amul model actually started in 1946 when farmers of Gujarat were exploited by the middleman and one dairy person, Polson. He was not giving the good price of milk. Naturally, any buyer of agriculture produce, he'll reduce the price when production is more. And in some winter used to happen. So these farmers went to Sardar Patel and told the story, the Deputy Prime Minister of India first. And in 46, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel gave him such a business lesson, or I can say marketing. He said, if you want to get the best price for their produce, you should not only produce it, you should process and market it yourself, right from production to the consumer. You should own the supply chain. Then only you're going to the maximum share of consumer rupee. So then they formed a cooperative society, Kera district, 1946. And farmers started controlling the whole supply chain. It started with 250 liters of milk from 2 small villages. And the first market which they found out was Bombay. If Bombay would have not been there, Amul would have. So collecting milk, chilling it, putting it in a wagon, bringing milk to Bombay and selling it. And then later on, naturally, kept on investing in new technology, new products, and then we kept on adding new product in our product portfolio. Now we have got product for each age, each stage, etc. And today's scenario is totally different. Our dairy farm created a brand, 38,000 crore. About my organization, which is State Federation, we handle around 28,000 crore. 10,000 crore is directly the district union cell within the district. And from 250 liters of milk to 30 million liters. And this brand has made the most vulnerable sector. I mean, if you see most, out of 3.6 million farmers, 80% are landless and marginal farmers. And they have become the ownership is neither with the government nor with any private industry. 3.6 million poor farmers of Gujarat, they own this most powerful brand of India in food. So what really worked for us? I think this is not a core brand identity which was made 65 years. First is to serve the interest of milk producers, value for many. Value for many means 3.6 million farmers, providing them stable and remunerative price of their produce, day after day. So it does not happen that like in any agriculture produce, whether it's the pulses or tomatoes or potato, 1 year prices go up, next year when production increases, price will fall to 1/3 or 1/4. But here it does not happen in milk. And second, very, very important is value for money for the millions of consumers. By providing the best quality products made out of the best and natural ingredients. This is very, very important. When you talk about brand, once brand is made, generally most of the companies, what they do is second, brand is made. Now let us start see how to reduce the cost of production. In case of food product, what happens? How to reduce the cost of production? By replacing expensive food ingredients with the cheap ingredients or synthetic ingredients. In food, you'll see a lot of analog products come, whether the ice creams or the butter or cheese. I mean, you'll see people keep replacing, the consumer will not come to know. But in Amul, what butter you eat what about 60 years back or 55 years back when we started, same recipe of ice cream, same recipe of any other product. We may have changed little bit, not because of cost, because of some other consumer feedbacks. And by giving good price day after day, stable, we are retaining trust of the farmer or blind faith. I'm just giving you an example. If you see last 10 years, about 11% increase in CAGR price paid to the farmers. And what this resulted in increase in production or procurement. You give good price, farmers would. And we deliver whatever we promised. And never try to exploit consumer that, okay, now I've got, like Mr. Murthy, but we have got in butter more than 90% market share. But if you see last 10 years price increase graph, it is never more than inflation. More or less parallel to the food inflation. And other innovation for bigger supply chain innovation, 4 distinct highways. I mean, basically, one is ambient that any other company will be having. Then investing in the chilled distribution highway, right from factory to the retailer. Then frozen for ice cream. Then, which is the fourth is most difficult, which Amul has got more or less everywhere in the India, is fresh product, where product is sold to the consumer within 3-4 hours of leaving the factory. Then this one thing which Dr. Kune has said, no shortcuts, no gimmicks, and no freebies. He is used to say, never bribe retailers to sell or to push your brand. Let the consumer demand. And consumer will demand only if she is satisfied whether previous experience or with the product. And the other important brand building, which I think is for all the basically people in marketing and advertising, consistency in communication over long. I mean, if you see I'll just show you the campaigns, whatever we have got, we have never tried to change if it is working. I mean, we investing in branding in 50s when no Indian brands used to be advertised. These are the campaigns of 1956, Dr. Varghese Kurian started building them. I mean, these are you see, butter was 1 rupee 5 paisa, now today it is 44 rupees. Same message. Core brand message is same. I mean, this campaign very interesting. Just see, today we are talking about Air India. See the 60s ad. And some hotels that we're talking about. Very, very early. And then this Amul topical campaign, you all must be aware. The Butter Girl campaign. I mean, this campaign, if you see, I mean, very rarely you get such type of compliments. Whenever I go out, travel in a train or air or some seminar like this or anywhere out and introduce first, who are you, sir, Sodiji? So I say कि I work in a, I'm a दूध वाला basically. तो दूध वाला आगे पूछता तो बताना ठीक है हम अमूल में काम करते हैं. And you know what is the first reaction comes? Most of time, I mean, out of 10 people, 8 people will what response? First thing, if I say I am from Amul, they'll say, आपकी वो Amul butter girl वाली campaign बहुत बड़ी है. They will not talk first about the product. They'll say Amul girl की campaign, topical campaign बहुत बड़ी है. You tell me any other brand where it is recognized not because of product or services, but because of the campaign. I mean, you say Maruti, immediately car will come. Sony, TV will come. We say ET newspaper will come to your mind, but never. And this campaign has created brand by not spending or splurging money. If I tell you, if I give the facts about this campaign, I mean, our advertising budget last so many decades is never more than 1%. It is always less than, I mean, last 10 years is around 0.8%. On this particular campaign, out of the total budget, our spend is never more than 4 to 5%. So brands can be built not by spending money. Brands can be spent only if naturally one creative has to be good, media also has to be good, and ultimately product has also to be good or services. Well, these are some of our Butter Girls topicals. You may have seen it, which we are now in digital also. Week after week. Earlier we used to do once in 15 days when we used to paint the hoarding. It used to take 3-4 days to change the design, but with the electronic thing coming, and now we are in press also every week, and digital every 2 days, depending upon the topic, we keep changing it. And then we have also come out with a book, basically talking about this campaign, where people are giving their comments. And then other innovation communications. In 70s, we produced a film called Manthan, basically talking about Amul experiment. Shyam Benegal directed it. Then these are early advertising of Amul milk. Then on TV, 80s, we started sponsoring program, whether Surbi or Quiz Time. And about Western Railway, we are using the engines also. About 80 engines are being used. And then digital media. And digital media is also used for consumer, like people, cool selfie, they can take just to have connect with them. Even the trade also, for display purpose. The other reason for having Amul's iconic brand is umbrella branding strategy. Day one, all our products are under one brand name, Amul. And I think the reason for that is, there has been consistency in the top. It's not happened that people have changed and every new marketing director or new managing director or new chairman wants to produce his or her child and leave the legacy by launching new brands. We have continued with this, that only one brand. And that is why we are able to build it less than 1% of. And consistency in brand positioning also. Utterly, butterly delicious. We started in the 60s. 90s we started this Amul, the taste of India. We are continuing. And no doubt we have created 7, 8 TV campaign based on same Amul taste of India. And just a few, these are all. Now there are 36 lakh women and 18,000. This is an old film. There is this I'll skip. And basically, over a period of time, we have made a brand dynamic, whether digital, and redesign the product imagery by targeting the youths. The product design has been made. And then, this is our milk ad. Sorry, it has gone up. So on festivals of this is the Amul दूध पीता India.
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल पीता है इंडिया, जश्न मनाता, सेहत बनाता, लाइफ के मैदान में बाजी मार लाता, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
Actually, it's not that this Amul Doodh Pita India is there for last more than 13, 14 years. And I believe my advertising people are not here. They had once or twice change in creative people, they had tried to change it. They come out with proposal. But anybody comes, we say, you can do anything else. Then this positioning statement, Amul Doodh Pita India. And once they suggested, साहब बाकी कुछ मत बोलिए, चलो अमूल दूध पीता इंडिया की जरा अमूल fresh दूध पीता इंडिया चेंज करने दीजिए. So we said when Amul दूध means it is fresh. Why you want to add? So never allowed. So they also know that there are certain things where they cannot change, and there are certain things they are totally whole freedom. Where creative things come, they have got full freedom. We don't ask them. They are not to take our approval. What campaign you see of Amul butter topical, they don't take our approval. They just put it. We see it when you see it. Like I'm sitting here, anything happens today, you know what is the top of the talk. That you may see new hoarding on that Air India Chakkar. Something will may come. Without, I don't know. It may come, but never. And they take responsibility also. And this is about just telling about consumer, how quality of Amul milk.
ससुराल में मेरा
There are
स्वागत किया परिवार के
various
साथ-साथ
quality checks which we do.
और गोदा तो उनका दूध किसी ऐसे वैसे को कैसे दे दूं? इसीलिए मैं अमूल सहकारी मंडली जाने लगी। वजह एक नहीं 4 है। अमूल देता है पौष्टिक पशु आहार। अमूल सहकारी मंडली में ही होती है क्वालिटी की जांच। अत्याधुनिक मशीनों से होती है प्रोसेसिंग। इस्तेमाल होती है सबसे बेहतर पैकेजिंग और गर्व से पूरे देश को सबसे श्रेष्ठ दूध देते आ रहे हैं।
अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
And we know that today more than 65% population less than 35 years. So we have to come how to connect with the new generation. So how we have changed the plain commodity value product like flavored milk in PET bottles. And then also coming up with campaigns like eat milk with every meal. So that today you can appreciate eating or drinking milk and milk products with all the meals. And then targeting gender by sponsoring or associating with the sports events. Then target, no doubt, the TV, serials, etc. Through, I mean, how to engage customers with the young customer various touch points. So this is a campaign which we carry that you share your story, your life story, where you have been associated with Amul during childhood days or before marriage or after marriage. And whatever good stories that can, we have made a film for the digital and then put it. I mean, this was the one of the story.
स्कूल से डिफेंस कॉलेज, फिर डिफेंस कॉलेज से बॉर्डर। शुरू से ही मैं घर से दूर रहा था। तब भी माँ की, उनके बनाए गए हाथ की खाने की बहुत याद आती। फिर छुट्टियों में जब भी घर पहुंचता, तब टेबल पर गर्मा गर्म आलू के पराठे, साथ में ढेर सारा अमूल बटर मेरा इंतजार करता। वक्त बदलता चला गया, पर माँ का प्यार और अमूल का स्वाद कभी नहीं बदला।
क्या आपके पास भी ऐसी एक अमूल से जुड़ी अनोखी कहानी है? तो खो जाएं अमूल की यादों में और हमें लिख भेजें अपनी एक यूनिक अमूल स्टोरी।
मेरे लिए अमूल बटर ही नहीं, माँ का प्यार है। और आपके लिए?
And then to promote the use of various products, we have come out more than 550 recipes in various languages on the YouTube. And then also one very unique thing which we have done is we are showing our food factories. I mean, how to make cheese, how to make butter. I mean, load it on the YouTube. You can see this thing. Just put Amul Food Factory, you'll see how the products are manufactured. And then this is one app which we have launched where collection of all our butter topicals are there, right from 1966. Amul online store which we have started in Ahmedabad. The app is there, you can order anything at home, sitting at home on the app. And this is very unique. We are reaching to the consumers very near. We have got around more than 9,000 parlors. These are very, a single point I can say, a very good source of branding. I mean, you can go to most of the now stations we have got. All the institutions of excellence, IITs, IIMs, IT centers, university centers, defense institutions, anywhere. And some campaign naturally for the digital media. This is the latest which has been appreciated very well. How mothers of rural India are connecting with the urban mothers.
वो मैं
मैं चाहूं तेरी मेरी एक जस्तजू शुद्ध मेरा प्यार शुद्ध तेरी रूह रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल तू भी कहे मैं भी कहूँ रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल संग तेरे मैं संग मेरे तू रखे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल शुद्ध मेरा प्यार शुद्ध तेरी रूह रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल माँ हूँ मैं एक माँ है तू दोनों है हूँ तू जो चाहे वो मैं जानूं चलती रहे ये गुफ्तगू शुद्ध मेरा प्यार शुद्ध तेरी रूह रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल तू भी कहे मैं भी कहूँ रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल संग तेरे मैं संग मेरे तू रखे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल शुद्ध मेरा प्यार शुद्ध तेरी रूह रहे माँ का प्यार हर पल अमूल
And basically, so now I'm just trying to conclude that if, there are lessons brand building. If a company or strategy is working, well, don't change it. Like utterly buttery delicious taste of India, Amul Doodh Pita India. And consistency, once we are taught value for many or value for money for brand, continue it. Last 65 years. And as far as possible,
we're a life stage business, right? So you use us and then you move on. We actually celebrate when you move on. We don't hold on to you as a brand. And so it's hard to build a brand that stays in the public consciousness when you're only relevant for a small life stage. I think we've done okay. There's a lot more to do. But what I'm going to try and do is take you through what we do, given that we're a young upstart and still trying to build a brand that matters. What are the few things that we do that seem to work for us? Yeah? So first let me tell you a little bit about Shaadi.com. Not everybody knows what scale we operate at. I don't know if this works. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right, so I'm going to be here then. Excellent. So just to give you a sense of how many people we influence, we sign up about 10,000 people every day. And every day we have about 100,000 connections, people talking, meeting, connecting with each other. And 1,000 plus success stories every day. So that gives you a sense of, our scope of influence. It's not huge, but it's not very small also. We're actually at about 1,500 success stories right now per day. Coincidentally, this week we reached our 5 millionth success story on Shaadi.com. So it's a big week for us. So we're very proud of that. And that's really the business. There's not a lot more than that. And we still have to be innovative, agile. We got some awards along the way to recognize that. I'll try and talk about how we translate that to being a brand that people care for, because we don't stay in people's consciousness for beyond when they need us. So I'll tell you what we do slightly different. We do have a binding vision, not a brand vision per se, but I don't know if you recall from that last slide. 10,000 people sign up every day. We do 1,000 plus successes, which means that we don't marry every person that comes onto Shaadi.com. We just don't. And it keeps us up at night. We try to figure out how to get people married, but this helps. This helps because we understand that we are about the search for a life partner. Of course, we want you to find your life partner, but if you can make the journey as fulfilling, then that gives us a purpose that we can live and deliver every day. Because not everybody is going to get married on Shaadi.com, but we can certainly give you the experience that you're looking for. And so you'll see in all aspects of our brand, that's what we go for. And that's what keeps us going. So one of the big things is, the collective love of the people. And Mr. Sodhi was talking about, farmers and consumers. What's worked really for us is these are our people. So all of these are the thousands of people that work for Shaadi.com. And we found it to be an incredibly powerful brand tool. Some of it has just evolved on us. They've stuck me there at the bottom, if you can see me there. I recognize most of these people, some have moved on. The core of this brand is built on our teams. There's a missionary zeal with which everyone tries to build Shaadi.com, tries to make us bigger. Some of it is by design, some of it we've done well, some of it is just luck. Frankly, we're fortunate to have teams as good as that. But every day they embody what Shaadi.com means to us, makes our brand a little bit stronger. So this really is the biggest constituency for us in terms of what makes our brand special. If we go forward, obviously our secondary pillars of our brand are people that we find successes with, right? They're the biggest ambassadors of Shaadi.com. If you read we get 50, hundreds of these every day, right? And when you see someone saying that, I must say, I've never been happier about any decision in my life. You see someone saying, he won my heart over in a conversation that took 10 hours. That, frankly, is the strongest branding tool that we have available in our arsenal. There are people that come into our offices crying, and suddenly, from what is literally a platform, it's a transactional platform that helps you connect with somebody else, you take on a much bigger meaning. We have cynical young MBA students, I was one such, who join us. Within 3 months of experiencing Shaadi.com and starting to engage with our customers as they come in, they suddenly start to realize that this is so much more. And so as a secondary brand ambassador, our success stories and members on Shaadi.com itself, very, very important. So we treat them with the respect that they deserve. We engage with them a lot, but they really help deepen what is Shaadi.com. Mahesh earlier was talking about word of mouth, most powerful branding source for us. But we're a young company. It's a fairly onerous responsibility to have to carry the weight of a nation on your shoulders. We're young just because the internet is young, and at some level, being Shaadi.com, you are really a trusted advisor to people that find their match on Shaadi. That's the role we play. The advantage of social is that on social we get to be exactly who we are. We get to let people know what makes Shaadi.com. It lets people know why we do this. And so that's a very different form of engagement. On social, we get to be everything about love, life, marriage, relationships. And we don't just engage with match seekers. We engage with everyone. And so it's a very, very powerful tool, just because in the match seeking space, key influencers are important. And it also gives our entire team an opportunity to go out and be who we are. I'll give you an example of this in terms of a campaign that went reasonably well. I'll try and explain why it's different. Dowry is a problem in India. I think that it's a social ill that has outlived its, expiry date, quite frankly, but it's still prevalent. And true to form, it's not relevant to most people. It just isn't, unless you're looking to get married or someone you know is looking to get married. It doesn't mean anything to most people. And so the question that we took up is, how do you bring it into the public consciousness? So this looks very much like a CSR campaign, right? It's how much dowry are you worth, Shaadi cares, all of that. But that's not the way we operate it. Essentially, a very simple campaign, how much dowry are you worth? You put in, engineer, I make 50,000 a month, or whatever the thing is. And then the reveal on this is, we have 50,000 plus dowry deaths a year in India. It shows a calculator, pretends like it's actually calculating how much dowry you're worth, and then it tells you about dowry and the ills of dowry. Fairly simple. What was fascinating about this was when we launched it, and we have a lot of followers, fans, engaged users on Twitter, Facebook, what have you, we just put it out there, right? And people started to get it. We have people that like us. They enjoyed it. They started to write about it. And then some people started to bash us. A lot of people don't go through games and things like that. So there was this whole, how can Shaadi.com put up a dowry calculator? And valid point. And so what happened was, first we started defending ourselves. We started writing in, all my entire organization got very affronted with, how can they say bad things about Shaadi.com? And then suddenly, magically, our fans started. And at one point, we had our fans telling disbelievers, saying, go play it, you'll know what they're doing, you idiots. And at some point, we just stepped back. And we just watched this entire thing playing out in front of our eyes without participating in it, which was an absolutely magical experience to see our fans defending Shaadi.com without us being in the conversation at all. And it really did well. So, because we're marketers, we also look at, hard numbers. We got over 100 million impressions. We got 3 lakh page views just onto that site, which wasn't even part of the game. 183 out of 195 countries, people participated in this. It was quite staggering, actually, what was happening, and we were trending globally for a while. And it gave us a sense of, again, being who we are. That's who we are as a business. We're not going to pick every problem in the world. We're going to try and make a difference our way. And so that's what makes the Shaadi.com brand somewhat unique, somewhat special. And that's kind of the way we've nurtured it over the years. Obviously, we'll talk about our member base, right? We have a particularly unique member base. Everybody thinks their member base is unique. But what happens is, especially in the context of marriage, while people can be, very progressive in their outlooks in so many areas of life, when it comes to marriage, they're fairly conservative, or they go back to what they know. And so everybody wants sort of their mera wala cream type of marriage process. And that becomes incredibly hard, given that, we've signed up to make that journey as pleasurable for you. So we do have a large number of constituencies. It will take me a long time to describe all of them. So what I'll do is I'll show you some of the key ones and why that's challenging for us to deliver on our promise but still be relevant. Let's look at, this is our biggest constituency, right? Young Indians, no experience with relationship, trying to figure out who to get married to. And sort of, there's awkwardness early on as well. So let me see if we've captured that. Hang on a sec. Right, let's see if this works.
Come, let's dance now.
I can't dance.
You can't dance.
No.
You are the one. What can I say? Smile just for me and just make my day. Come, let's go. Show me the way. Show me the love. It's here to
20 लाख लोगों की तरह मल्हार और तरुण ने भी अपनी कहानी की शुरुआत shaadi.com से की.
Come, find love. Arranged by Shaadi.com.
So you'll see a lot of our personality in that ad. Picking up, we're all about real people and real stories. So trying to pick up something that people can relate to. This campaign did exceedingly well. Just people writing to us saying, we love the guy, can't believe he got this kind of a girl. All kinds of, very human responses that came into us. Also, our use of Chetan Bhagat, which was candidly inspired by the agency, was where if you want to be telling real stories, who do you go to? Probably the #1 storyteller in India. So we took Chetan Bhagat, again a contrarian call. Chetan Bhagat is sort of, people love to hate him and vice versa, and all of that happens. But at that point, he wasn't a TV celebrity, and we didn't want celebrity. We wanted someone that seemed like they were telling stories. So we picked him against sort of, with a lot of opposition, worked exceedingly well, really, really well. In fact, it worked better for us in tier 2 towns where he had very good readership and things like that, which perhaps were just starting to accept Shaadi.com. So that's one of the audiences that we deal with, the youth that have no experience. We have this, we have parents who want to help out their kids. And they don't get the Shaadi.com way. The Shaadi.com way is very much about, mutual consent and figuring it out. And parents essentially want to pick up the phone and talk. And that's not very comfortable. So we had to deliver a slightly different service for parents, keeping in mind the way they wanted to do matchmaking, because that journey had to be fulfilling for them. And so, Select Shaadi came about. And we got these ultra HNIs also who wanted discretion. For whatever reason, they were not comfortable, they were not able to be public about their match search. And so we brought them in. I used this slide just to irritate my marketing team because when we put this up first, a lot of members wrote back to us saying, so what is a VIP? Why will he get a young girl? And we were trying to show the dad, right, in the creative. And the beauty of having member bases that are very connected and very vocal is that they will tell you. And so obviously we don't use this creative any longer, but everyone wrote saying, VIP hua to kya hua, ladki itni, sort of, in terms of, why are you guys trying to put a sugar daddy in place? So that was interesting, but it's also, it helps us, because we don't have a very deep user journey to back on, because we haven't been around for that long. So every time we break new ground, we really rely on our members to tell us. I'll show you the last segment, I guess, that we address. It's a broad segment. And these are NRIs, and I'll talk a little bit about it and what makes this challenging for us. So first, you guys watch the ad.
Hey, I recognize you from somewhere. Oh, sorry. Black. Hello. Hi. You alright? Is that your guitar there?
What do you think?
Excuse me, is that the Dylan edition?
Yeah. Are you a fan too?
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I almost missed you.
And the reason I show this film is so much creative dissonance. My marketing team hates it. And my members in the UK love it. They feel like it just represents them somehow. And it doesn't matter what our teams think, as long as our members love it, it's going to keep playing. And there's a variety of things wrong with it. But we do allow members to lead us a lot. The last thing I think I want to talk about is we don't have, so to speak, any sacred cows. And so, 16 years into building a brand, red, yellow, red, orange, green, we figured people are now moving. People don't use Shaadi.com for arranged marriage. They kind of come to Shaadi.com and they do what they think. So somebody who wants to have a love marriage comes to Shaadi.com and says, this is going to be a love marriage. Somebody who comes to have an arranged marriage thinks he's having an arranged marriage. We don't have the ability to set that context in the mind of the user, and that's probably not our place. And so then we tore it down and we started all over. And has gone very well. This is a few years ago. Changed our colors, took a lot of work, a lot of effort. But that's kind of who we are. We're young, but we have our ear very, very close to the ground. And as far as our journey is going, it's working, but it's a work in progress. Cheers. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rakshit. I would request all our eminent brand custodians, Mr. Rakshit, as well as Mr. Sodhi and Mr. Mahesh Murthy, to kindly join us on stage, please. And I request Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly come forward to felicitate our three speakers. Mr. Sodhi, I request you to join us on stage. Mr. Rakshit. And Mr. Murthy would have just left for the evening, so we've got Mr. Sodhi as well as Mr. Rakshit here. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you could tweet about the event using the hashtag ET Iconic Brands. I repeat, hashtag ET Iconic Brands. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward with the CMO's fireside chat session on creating and sustaining a compelling brand experience. We have with us the Chief Marketing Officer for Mahindra & Mahindra Automotive Division, Mr. Vivek Nair. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a huge round of applause for Mr. Vivek Nair. And joining him is the Chief Marketing Officer for Pidilite Industries, Mr. Vivek Sharma. This is the CMO's Fireside Chat session, ladies and gentlemen, on creating and sustaining a compelling brand experience.
So we've been talking brands for a long time, and we've heard some nice stories from new brands, old brands. Amul is a brand which we've all grown up with. Shadi is a new brand. And here are two marketers, and marketers can talk brands for hours. So how long do you want to sit? I think let's stick very, very tightly to the topic that we've been told to talk about, which is brand experience. How do you create compelling brand experiences and how do you sustain them over time? So that's what we will talk about based on our own brand building experience. Yeah.
Yeah, so good evening, everyone. So I think, Vivek, we can start by first relating the role which the brand experience plays in building the status of the brand, which is the iconic status, because here we are supposed to talk about the brand which have not only become popular, but they have gone beyond the realms of domains and become iconic in their domains and categories and occupy larger share of consumer mind. So beside product, advertising, and word of mouth, we have spoken about that. What role does the experience beyond these aspects does a brand play? And if I can ask you, how do you create the consistent brand experience with your brands?
So let me share the story of Mahindra SUVs. I mean, we've got a couple of awards today for our SUVs, so I will talk about SUVs. You know, Mahindra has been making and selling SUVs in India since independence, around the same time as Amul. And there are certain product truths about our SUVs. You talk to consumers, they will always tell you Mahindra SUVs are tough, they are rugged. And sometime around 2010, also about 7-8 years ago, we said all that is fine, but you know, how can we make a difference to consumers' lives? So fine, we make tough, rugged SUVs, but you know, what is the differentiated experience that we can enable for our consumers? And we did a lot of research. We did a lot of sort of consumer trends to figure out how consumer mindsets are changing, how consumer lives are changing. One of the things that we picked up was that consumers said, look, we are sort of, and mind you, this was the time when incomes were rising, aspirations were rising, exposure was rising. So one of the things people said was, look, you know, we are tired of, you know, just going to watch a movie or go out for a meal with friends. We want something more out of life. You want to do something different. And this whole thing about, can we get out on the weekends? Can we drive to a place for a picnic? Or can we drive from Bombay to Goa with friends? Was just about starting. And, you know, a lot of people were aspiring for that. And that's when we started an experiential brand called Mahindra Adventure. And we said, if our SUVs are tough and rugged, if that's our DNA, how can we enable such experiences for customers out there by creating an experiential brand? And under Mahindra Adventure, we do, you know, now in the last 7 years, we've built it up to, we do about 25-30 events every year. And these are different kinds of events. We have single day events, which are called Mahindra Great Escapes, where people come and do off-roading, and we enable that whole thing. Or we have multi-day expeditions, like 10, 11, 12 days expeditions. And to give you a flavor of what I'm talking about and how that brand experience gets delivered. Let me show you a video on Mahindra Adventure. Let me just play that for you. Mahindra Adventure video. Volume. Can we have it on the screen? Somebody at the back end, can you put it on the screen, the video?
Mahindra Adventure was established in 2011
Volume,
and has
volume.
successfully completed 6 seasons. Let us take a look at the season that just got over. The highlight was a brand new expedition that connected Kashmir and Kanyakumari. 25 Mahindra SUVs crossed 10 states and 5,000 kilometers to complete an epic journey. Yet another new addition was the authentic Bhutan expedition, which saw an overland border crossing to the land of the Thunder Dragon. If you thought that was exotic, wait till we tell you about the classic monastery escape, traversing the stunning landscapes of Ladakh. This season also saw Mahindra Adventure expeditions to the northeast and the Spiti Valley in the Himalayas. Apart from these experiential expeditions, Mahindra Adventure also handles many customer engagement events under the banner Great Escape. Great Escapes also play the role of the selection rounds for the Off-Roading Trophy, an off-road competition for off-roading enthusiasts, where the winner takes home a brand new Mahindra Thar. To encourage competition between the off-road clubs of India, we introduced the Club Challenge. The event is now organized along with the Thar Fest, the biggest congregation of Mahindra Thars in the country. Located in the stunningly beautiful region of Igatpuri, the Mahindra Adventure Off-Road Training Academy is the first and only one of its kind in India. Here, participants get to learn the art of off-roading. Mahindra Adventure took the motorsport world by surprise when it entered the diesel-powered Super XUV 500s into rally. To cut a long one short, the Cheetah has won 12 of the 20 rallies entered in the Indian National Rally Championship. Mahindra Adventure, perfecting the art of getting lost.
So based on the consumer trend that we saw, we decided to own the space of fun, adventure, road trips, and a change in lifestyle, and created Mahindra Adventure to enable people to have a different kind of experience. And you know, a few thousand people participate in these events every year, but then we amplify this using digital and social media. And we have 15, 16 million fans on Facebook, Twitter, and so on. So we take this experience and this content to millions of fans across digital media. And that's how we are creating a compelling brand experience.
So Vivek, if I may interject and ask you, off-roading and adventure appeals to a segment of your consumers. So you do take it to people, to digital media, a wider section of your audience. But how do you ensure that the appeal goes beyond the physicality of adventure and your brand is able to actually involve those consumers who don't do physical off-roading.
So, you know, the point is that some people love off-roading. Some people like to go on picnics, as I said. Some people like to go on road trips from Mumbai to Goa. There are others who like to go on long expeditions from Delhi to Leh Ladakh. Some people want to cross international borders. So we cater to all of them. And other than that, we want to inspire many more people to just get out there into the countryside and experience fun, adventure, freedom on their own. So one is we are creating Mahindra Adventure to come to us for that experience. The second is we've created a communication called Live Young, Live Free, where we are trying to inspire people to go and live that kind of lifestyle on their own with their family and their friends. And if I may just show you that one commercial that we've created, and we've run the version 2 recently. If I can just play that film as well, the Live Young, Live Free. And that is a film that we are using to inspire. So Mahindra Adventure enables, and this film inspires people to live that kind of lifestyle. So if you can just play that, please. Just up the volume at the back.
We live young.
We live free. We are the living. We live young. We live free.
We are the living.
So Live Young, Live Free is the communication which inspires people. And by the way, this also aligns with our corporate brand, because our corporate brand, Mahindra, stands for Rise. And Rise is about changing people's lives and their lifestyles. And this is what we are trying to do with Mahindra SUVs.
If I may ask you a question as a consumer, in an automobile, one brand experience is the positioning and how it relates to the wild aspect of personality of the youngsters. The other aspect of experience is after-sales service when something goes wrong. So how do you relate the two in ensuring that you got 2 awards for the brands? The brand still retains its status of trusted brand and love brand or iconic brand. How do you relate the two experiences, wild experience and the after-sales experience?
See, the after-sales experience, without doubt, when you're selling an automobile, your after-sales experience has to be good, right? And if your experience there is bad, nobody's going to give you word of mouth. Somebody, I think right in the beginning, Mahesh Murthy spoke about word of mouth. And if your after-sales experience is poor, your word of mouth will be poor and your brand will come down. And, you know, I think we are one of the few brands whose chairman is on Twitter, and consumers and anybody can actually tweet to him and say, I have a complaint. And, you know, initially, you know, we've also gone through this learning curve. Initially, we used to feel upset कि अरे यार आनंद महिंद्रा को छोटी सी बात के लिए tweet कर दिया. But very soon we realized the power of the medium. We realized that if there is a problem anywhere in the country, we come to know there is a problem. And that gives us an opportunity to do a service recovery. So let's say if the customer in Guwahati is saying, look, I did not get so-and-so part. I went for your workshop and they didn't have that part. I'm waiting for 2 days. It escalates the problem, right? Fine, he's tweeted to Anand Mahindra, but it allows everyone in the system to get alert that there is a customer out there who has a problem. We need to rush and help him. And we are so happy now that Anand Mahindra is on Twitter and anybody can tweet to him, because we are able to do service recoveries and improve on that front as well.
So one last question, what are the everlasting values that you're trying to build in this brand consistently over time?
So as I said, the product truth is about tough, rugged, but you know how this impacts the consumer's life. What role does it play in the consumer's life is all about fun, adventure, a different kind of lifestyle. That's the space we are trying to own. And through Mahindra Adventure, which are our experiential brand, and through this kind of communication, which is Live Young, Live Free, that's the space we are trying to sort of own. Yeah? Okay, so that was the Mahindra story. Let me now turn the spotlight back to Vivek. And Vivek, your brand is very unique because as a consumer, I think, people don't really use the brand Fevicol. Fevicol is the most well-known brand that you guys have. You have many other brands, Dr. Fix-It and so on. But Fevicol is, let me start with Fevicol. So how do, hi again. Very well.
Good evening.
We just met a couple of days ago. So Fevicol is a brand that you don't really see. You don't use yourself. I mean, the Mistri or the stake, those people use it. So how do you create a brand and a brand experience on a brand like Fevicol?
So you're right. Actually, so far we have spoken about brands like Amul, Mahindra's, Shadi.com, which consumers directly use. But Fevicol, you all know, is a very familiar brand to you. But Fevicol, you don't get to see yourself. You make your furniture maybe once in 5 years. You make a new home once in 10 years. Then you make your wardrobes. And I don't think you ever go and buy Fevicol yourself. You talk to your contractor and carpenter and say, make me the furniture. You never go and smell the product and use the product. But still, Fevicol is a brand which is known. And Fevicol is used in a language. So many mimes on digital media, everyone uses Fevicol in the language. So how the brand has been built in such a way that the brand which is not used by ordinary consumers, is not seen by ordinary consumers, it yet occupies the mind. So I'm going to talk about few things, but I'm going to use some examples. So I'm going to use the laptop. So while this is working? Yeah, so I'm going to use this. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll make it very short. Only 2 or 3 key points which I want to make is, Fevicol is not seen by anyone. So Fevicol has become iconic brand because Fevicol has gone beyond the functionality. Fevicol sticks, but do you ever see mostly Fevicol ad showing you how it sticks to the plywood to wood? No, you don't see that. You see other aspects of the Fevicol. Now I have lots of ads to show, but I'm going to show you only one to make the point, one or two to make the point that this brand has gone beyond functionality, and actually it is talking about everlasting bonds. Does a consumer care how it sticks? No. We could have spoken about, cross-linking polymers and so on and so forth. But what we talk to consumers is this. Volume, please. Yeah. Video, please. No. I just need to show. How do I come back? Okay. So second point is that this brand is also built on innovations. Beyond advertising, there are various ways in which this brand relates to consumers, and a lot of it happens in offline medium. Now, we have done many, many innovations, but I'm going to take two examples just to make the point that this is an adhesives brand which you don't see, but people enjoy the brand and the message it gives to consumers all the time. No, not this. This is a short film which we made 4 years ago, but yeah. But it still goes on digital medium, entertaining people.
It's not coming on the screen.
Can we have it on screen, please? You keep this laptop on screen, I'll keep playing it. Okay. Okay, so while they're getting the video right, can we have the video, please? Volume, please. I won't play the example of the song. This is a song we did with Fevicol, and that's one other example of actually winning the hearts of consumers. This was a real life innovation we did. These are the people from our marketing team who ran in the marathon, but they stood on the ground, they never ran. And that proved what Fevicol can do to you. So this is all about how we won over consumers by going beyond functionality and actually winning the hearts of consumers, remaining consistent. But the other key part is, how do we win over all stakeholders? Mr. Sodhi talked about Amul winning over the stakeholders, and that's equally important to us. So who are the key stakeholders for Fevicol? There is consumer. We spoke about consumers. We won over the heart of consumers through consistently advertising, which actually speaks about the core value of the brand, which is everlasting bonds, but never talks about the product and never talks about the functionality. People know about it. Other part is the contractors and the carpenters which use our brand. And actually we have won them over with some innovations. So first of all, we involve the carpenters in many social ways, in the ways we improve their lives. We give them training to improve their skills so they can earn the more money. We get involved in the social functions, and we also look after their social aspects and their kids, and we give them scholarship, etc. Now, some example of how we have actually got involved in their social lives. This is the kind of message we actually send to them on festivals. Right, so I'll move on last but not the least to really make the point that Fevicol actually, Fevicol has actually become language of the nation. If a prime minister of the country uses your brand name in his speech, I don't think we need any more proof of the fact that iconic brands can actually be in the hearts and minds of people. And you don't need better PR than that. Or every month with big events, Fevicol is used by people in language, all over digital media and in the mainstream press as well. The last but not the least, the important part which we all forget is, Fevicol like brand is like duck in the water. What you see is the ducks swimming on the water, but below the water is paddling furiously, and that's what we do with carpenters and contractors. We work hard with them to actually improve their lives and better their lives, and I'll show you with few slides an example what we do below the water so that the brand really wins over the key stakeholder, which is the contractor and carpenters. We have something called Fevicol Champions Club. What we do with them is we look after the children, we have academies for the children, we do medical camps for them, we get involved in Vishwakarma, which is very important for them, we organize Yoga Day for them, we do Shramdan Divas. This is very important because in Shramdan Divas, we provide the material, the adhesives and the wood, and for one day, thousands of carpenters all over the country go to orphanages and needy institutions, and either they build new furniture for them or they repair it for them. This has become a very big event. It gets coverage all over the place, and it's now a Limca Book of Records. And they feel attached to the brand because they feel the brand is enabling them to contribute to society. Then we actually do a Vriksharopan Divar once a year where we actually plant trees because we use wooden furniture. Okay, we're using wood, so we're giving back to the nature by making them plant trees. This has also become very, very big. Okay, we have around 600 clubs of Fevicol Champions Club in 150 cities, and this is where we do. And recently we got involved with Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, so that our carpenters and contractors have a relationship with the brand Fevicol, which is beyond their business, which is beyond, and it is an important part of their lives. Okay? And last but not the least, a brand cannot be important to a stakeholder unless it actually improves their lives in making them earn more money. And that is the core need of a contractor and carpenter. We actually have a contractor training program. So the key point which I want to make is that a brand which is not seen by consumers, which you don't see ever, but still used by language, in everyday language, it is used in jokes, it is used in language by a prime minister. You love the advertising, you love the mimes on the video, you love the jokes on the video, because the brand goes beyond functionality, and the brand Fevicol is continue to build everlasting bonds with the millions of consumers and contractors across India. Thank you.
So I've just found something common between Fevicol and Mahindra SUVs, because the Prime Minister, before he became Prime Minister, used to roam around in a Mahindra Scorpio.
Yeah, so we'll conclude by saying that we spoke about how brands can build iconic status by building consistent experience. The key things which you spoke about is, A, we have to consistently build brand experience. B, we have to build brand experience for all stakeholders, not just the direct consumer. And lastly, brands always win and become iconic when they go beyond their immediate functionality. You are not about transport, you are about adventures. We are not about sticking wood to plywood, but we are about everlasting bonds.
Thank you.
I think we are
Thank
out
you
of
so
time,
much.
so
Yes.
yeah.
Out of time, so thank you very much for
Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly come forward to felicitate Mr. Vivek Nair as well as Mr. Vivek Sharma, please. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank our partners, our supporting partner, Make in India. Also, we have our live webcast partner, 24 Frames Digital, and our media partners, Khushi Advertising and Media Avatar. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure your eyes are on two iconic celebrities who have entered this amazing room over here. What's important to say is J.K. Rowling once said that it's our choices that show who we truly are far more than our abilities. And we have our two iconic celebrities who truly have taken those choices that have shaped their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, for iconic celebrity fitness, for male and female, we have the two stars over here. I would first like to call on stage Mr. Sonu Sood, who will be felicitated for being the iconic celebrity for fitness in male category. Congratulations. I request Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly come forward to felicitate Mr. Sonu Sood. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for our Dabang star over here, Mr. Sonu Sood. With fitness being his mantra, it is not a surprise that he is our iconic celebrity for fitness. I'm sure our audience would love to hear from you, Mr. Sonu Sood, so I would request you to come forward to kindly share a few words and tips on your fitness mantra. And the fact that you're an iconic celebrity, would request you to share a few words.
Sure. Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you for this recognition. I remember the first time I enrolled in the gym. I was in Nagpur, went there to do my engineering and never thought that, fitness will become a part of my life. I survived all those years on samosas and kachoris without knowing what proteins are, what carbs are. Being a true Punjabi, I've lived all my life on parathas and makhan. I think because of those those days, now I can live without them. And, when you told me about this, I just believe that, all the hard work that you put in all those years, someday it pays off. So thank you so much for this recognition. And when I was told that, I'm going to be with Shilpa, I think I truly believe that I admire her fitness. She's always been, I would say, my inspiration. Whenever I see her, I feel that, she's the ideal fitness, picture we can see who represents our country. So thank you so much, Shilpa, for always inspiring me also. And still miles to go, but the journey is on. All I want to say is that, it's not important that you go to the gym or you don't find time, to work out. But it's important to believe in yourself. Like I said, I always... for me, going to the gym is like brushing my teeth in the morning. It comes automatically. There are no cheat days in my life. So just respect yourself, love yourself, and I think you'll be the fittest man alive. So thank you so much. Keep inspiring people, and I'll do the same. Yeah. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonu. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they say a woman on a mission needs no permission. Isn't that right? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, the iconic celebrity for fitness, female. Could we have a huge round of applause for the stunning Shilpa Shetty-Kundra? So, all right, Shilpa, we have a question for you. So you have launched your brand digitally. So we would like to know what's your plan to make that brand iconic?
A very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all those who thought I was worthy of this award. I'm still striving very hard to be fit. This is such a compliment, and I just think you reiterate my faith in the brand I'm trying to create with not only myself, but also the fact that, you know, we belong to a country that has so much to offer in terms of health and nutrition. And we as Indians should feel very, very proud to be hailing from this country. So rather than steering away from ghee and going towards olive oil, I keep coaxing people to actually look inward and living the way people used to live in our country, at least even as recently as 70 years ago. So through my digital medium, the Shilpa Shetty channel, I'm trying in my own little way to kind of bring back people to the basics. And when people talk about me being synonymous with yoga, like Sonu said, I completely agree that, you know, waking up in the morning and doing my pranayama, however busy I am, even if it means at the fag end of the day when I'm brain dead, I just think to just be able to open my chest and just take in the oxygen is just a blessing. And I just think that good health truly is a blessing. We just take it for granted. Unfortunately, most of us start looking after it when we're diagnosed with an illness or an ailment. So in my own little way, I just feel through the Shilpa Shetty channel, I want people to become more aware, become more conscious. And like we've learned in school all our life, precaution is better than cure. I don't know why we don't put it into play. So I really want to do that through this channel. And I don't do yoga. Yoga is me and I am yoga. And I really think that, you know, when you start taking care of yourself, you start valuing your health, you become a better person. So when I say better, it doesn't mean better looking, but you feel healthier, you feel better. And I just hope everyone learns to value their health as much as, I just feel everyone's on a weight loss mission rather than a good health mission, unfortunately. I wish the tables would turn and things would change, but thank you very much. This is indeed a very humbling award, and thank you, Sonu. You are an inspiration for a lot of people. You've come such a long way, and you're an inspiration even for me. I want to do that thing that you did, where you're the human flag. The day I get to that position, I'll be really, really fit. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a great night.
Mr. Sonu Sood, request you to kindly join Shilpa Shetty on stage, please, for a group picture. I think our photographers are eagerly looking to capture that picture. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, could we have a huge round of applause for our iconic celebrity in fitness? We have Shilpa Shetty Kundra and Sonu Sood. I would also request Mr. Rishi Kapoor to kindly join them on stage, please. Yes, Mr. Kapoor, please join them on stage. Yes, request you to kindly stay on stage. Mr. Rishi Kapoor, please join them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Sonu Sood, I would request you to stay back on stage. We have two iconic brands we would like to felicitate. So yes, Mr. Sonu Sood, request you to stay back on stage. Ms. Shilpa, I would request you to come join us on stage a little later. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 iconic brands that will be felicitated right now. So I've requested Mr. Sonu Sood to first felicitate the 2 brands. Yes, the iconic brand that made it to the list, ladies and gentlemen, Bright Outdoor. Congratulations. We have one more iconic brand, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the next iconic brand that made it to the list is Cremica. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have the iconic celebrities here, and we also have the iconic brands in midst of us that have made it to this list. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Mr. Sonasood. Thank you once again. All right, I would now request Shilpa Shetty-Kundra to kindly join us on stage to present the trophies to the next two iconic brands, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the iconic brand that made it to the list, Being Human. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And the next iconic brand, Safe Express. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Shilpa. Thank you, Mr. Kapoor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what a lovely evening it's been, felicitating the iconic brands and, of course, the iconic celebrities who are in midst of us. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please do join us for cocktail and dinner, and have a lovely evening and weekend ahead. Thank you.